protection, guidance, and insight before I begin. I'm gonna greet the tribe, the soul tribe and family with peace and blessings, health and wholeness, love and light. Peace and blessings, health and wholeness, love and light. Peace and blessings, health and wholeness, love and light once again. Um, we're gonna talk about attention today, and attention very important um, because it say a lot about us when we're doing whatever it is that we're doing. I'm making a strong intention to push through some things because I just got some news that my sister been hospitalized. So I want to send love and light to anybody in the hospital, whether they've been in the hospital, recently been in the hospital, or whatever. I want to send healing in that place and wholeness in that place. Um, so those who know what I'm talking about, and if you got somebody in them situations, y'all stand in agreement with me and send healing and wholeness into them places because it's needed. Like I say, we're going to talk about intention. Um, so we're going to go ahead into the synonym finder. Intention reads purpose, goal, aim, intent, end in view or end in mind, the objective, the target, the mark, destination, the wish, aspiration, ambition, ideal, design, plan, proposal, project, undertaking, contemplation, idea, decision, determination, resolve, resolution, direction, inclination, bent or set. It's like set intention. Meaning, significance, purport, implication, indication, denotation, upshot, and gist. We're going to talk about intentions, y'all, because we need to have our intentions. If we know where our intentions at, then we know where a lot of other things at. We know where our mind at. We know where our feelings at. And we know where our emotions at, because feelings and emotions are not the same thing. And therefore, we know how we're navigating within ourselves and how we're being received by others. It's a lot of things going on, man. We got eclipses and planets in retrograde and a lot of stuff going on in this month of Cancer. We got another eclipse coming up on the 20th. No, not eclipse. We got new moon coming up on the 20th. The Cancer new moon on the 20th. It's a lot of things, going on. People feeling it, whether they know what they feel or not. We feel it. We all feeling it. So that's why I say, we gotta make a habit of starting our day off by feeling good to feel good for no reason at all. Because every day ain't gonna be upbeat. Every day ain't gonna be full of good news, But you gotta have a place within yourself to press through whatever pop up, like pop ups on your computer screen. You gotta press through. Intention. Not all forms are physical. A thought, for example, is a form. But what is a thought? And what is a thought formed out of? A thought is energy, light that has been shaped by consciousness. No form exists without consciousness. There is light and there is the shaping of light by consciousness. This is creation. So, I'm going to give an analogy. An idea is a form of light. You shape the idea more and more that you add to the idea, you give it form. You write it on paper, you put it in concrete form. It's no longer a thought form, now it's a concrete form. That's a translation of the light into a visible form. Energy continually pours through you, entering at the top of your head and descending downward through your body. If you practice meditating, you can feel it. You are not a static system. You are a dynamic being of light that each moment informs the energy that flows through you. You do this with each thought, with each intention. The light that flows through your system is universal energy. It is the light of the universe. You give that light form according to your feelings. What you feel, what you think, how you behave, what you value, and how you live your life reflect the way that you are shaped in light that is flowing through you. They are the thought forms, the feeling forms, and the action forms that you have given light. They reflect the configuration of your personality and your space-time being. You change the way that you shape the light which is flowing through you by changing your consciousness. You can change your day by changing your mind. I say it all the time. You do this, for example, when you challenge a negative pattern such as anger and consciously choose to replace it with compassion, or when you challenge impatience and consciously choose to understand and appreciate the needs of others. This creates different forms of thought, feeling, and action. It changes your experience. Every experience and every change in your experience reflects an intention. An intention is not only a desire, it is the use of your will. If you do not like the relationship that you have with your husband or your wife, for example, and you would like it to be different, that desire alone will not change your relationship. If you truly desire to change your relationship, that change begins with the intention to change it. More so the intention to change you. It ain't always other people. How it will change depends upon the intention that you set. If you intend that your relationship with your husband or your wife becomes harmonious and loving, that intention will open you to new perceptions. It will allow you to see the love that your husband or wife expresses for you in his or her own way, if that is the case. It will reorient you toward harmony and love so that you can clearly see from that perspective what is necessary to change your relationship and if that is achievable. If you intend to end your relationship, that ending begins with the intention to end. This intention will create in you a restlessness. You will feel less and less fulfilled with your mate. You will feel an openness to others in a way that you have not felt before. Your higher self has begun to search for another partner. When that partner appears, you will be drawn to him or to her, and if you accept that partner, which also is an intention, a new path will open for you. If you have conflicting intentions, you will be torn because both dynamics will be set in motion and oppose each other. If you are not aware of all your intentions, the strongest one will win. You may have a conscious intention to improve your relationship, for example, and simultaneously an unconscious intention to end it. If the unconscious intention to end your marriage is stronger than the conscious intention to improve it, the dynamic of restlessness, lack of fulfillment, etc. eventually will overcome the conscious intention to become loving and harmonious within your relationship. In the end, your relationship will terminate. If the conscious intention to transform your marriage is stronger than the unconscious intention to end it, and if your husband or your wife is essentially supportive, because it's a two-way street in relationships, you will succeed, but the dynamic of opposing intentions within you will produce confusions and anguishes, perhaps for both of you, as you become open to new perceptions of love and harmony within your relationship, and simultaneously experience restlessness, lack of fulfillment, and openness to other partners. This is the experience of a splinter personality, and splinter personality struggles with itself. The values, perceptions, and behaviors of a splinter personality are not integrated. We talked about splinter personalities and energy and motion. A splinter personality is not conscious of all the parts of itself because it is fractured. A splinter personality is frightened. It fears aspects of itself that threaten what it seeks and what it has attained. A fractured personality or splinter personality experiences the circumstances within its life as more powerful than itself. A splinter personality that has a conscious intention to improve its relationship and a stronger unconscious intention to end it, for example, will feel after the collapse of his marriage that despite its efforts, despite even its best efforts, things did not work out as intended. This is not so. They worked out exactly as it intended. But because she or he held conflicting intentions, much turbulence, so to speak, was created in the flow of the light through that person. Know clearly what your intentions are in any dealing. Know clearly what are your intentions so you don't give off conflicting energy. If conflicting intentions are nearly balanced, and if a personality is not willing or able to acknowledge that an aspect or aspects of her or his self stands opposed to her or his conscious intention, severe stress and emotional pain result. These can cause states of schizophrenia, and physical illness. In less severe cases, the anguish can be just as painful. A splinter personality is a personality in need of healing. As a personality becomes conscious and integrated, it heals those parts of its soul that increased, that incarnated in order to be healed. The light that flows through a whole personality is focused into a single, clear being. Clear view. Its intentions are powerful and effective. It becomes a laser, a phase-coherent beam of light. A beam in which every wave precisely reinforces every other. A whole personality is not like a laser. A laser is like a whole personality. Lasers are the reflection in physical reality of an energy dynamic that, until very recently, has not been central to the human experience. The development of the laser in the middle part of this century reflects within the physical arena a dynamic that is central to what our species is evolving into. We are evolving into a species of whole individuals. Individuals who are aware of their nature as beings of light and who shape their light consciously, wisely, and with compassion. Therefore, the physical phenomenon of phase-coherent light that does not struggle with itself, so to speak, has come into being. It is a new phenomenon to the human experience, and it reflects the new energy dynamic of the whole human. The achievements of science, in other words, do not reflect the laboratory capabilities of individuals or nations, but the spiritual capabilities of our species. Where the superhumans at? Intentions affect more than relationships. Intentions set into motion processes that affect every aspect of your life. If you desire to change your job, for example, that change begins with the intention to change. As the intention to leave your present job emerges into your conscience, you begin to open yourself to the possibility of working somewhere else or doing something else. You begin to feel less and less at home in what you are doing. Your higher self has begun the search for your next job, your next mate, your next interaction, whatever the case may be. When the opportunity appears, you are ready to accept it. You may require additional time to step into the new situation consciously to make it your own, because it is human nature to resist change. But if you accept it, your intention will manifest physically and quickly. It will assume a physical form. Decisions such as where to work and whom to partner with and where to live are not the only type of decisions that you make, nor are they decisions that have the most influence upon you. At each instant, you make decisions in the form of your attitudes about the universe, where you stay, the people around you, who you interact with, what you just ate. At each instant, you make decisions in the form of your attitudes about the universe, other people, and about yourself. You make these decisions continually, and your experiences at each moment are created by them. You are a decision-making being, a decision-making machine. A single choice to challenge your anger and replace it with understanding does not immediately change these attitudes, but it brings them through your feelings into awareness. And as you make the decisions of your life consciously and responsibly and wisely, your attitudes come to reflect those choices. Eventually, the deepest decision-making processes within you, those that shape from moment to moment the light that flows through you, become aligned with what you choose consciously, just as they are aligned before you choose awareness with what you choose unconsciously. You create your reality with your intentions. How does this happen? Intentions shape light, good or evil, bright or dark. They set light into motion, each intention. Physical matter is the densest or heaviest level of light. Physical reality is not a dead and empty stage on which life evolves. Every physical form, as well as every non-physical form, is light that has been shaped by consciousness. No form exists apart from consciousness. There is not one planet in the universe that does not have an active level of consciousness, although it may not be what we recognize as consciousness. Physical reality and the organisms and the forms within physical reality are systems of light within systems of light. And this light is the same light as the light of your soul. Just like I'm a body inside a body inside a body that has a soul with a spirit. Y'all rewind that.
What is the relationship between physical reality and the choices that you make in your life? Reality is multi-layered creation. No two people have the same reality. The first layer of your reality is your personal reality. This is your personal life, your personal sphere of influence. Here, your decisions are most effective and are felt directly by choosing to feel kindness instead of coldness, by choosing to feel health instead of sickness, by choosing to feel happiness instead of sorrow. Here, your decisions are most effective and are felt directly. By choosing to feel kindness instead of coldness, you change the frequency of your consciousness, and this changes your experiences. Within your personal reality, you can choose to be selfish or to be giving, to look upon yourself and others brutally or with compassion, to serve yourself or to serve others and the earth. Each of these decisions shapes the light that flows through you and creates the reality within you. This reality spills over into the realities of those around you. How are your intentions spilling over into the lives of those around you? How is it affecting them? The second layer of your reality is your family. When individual human souls come together, they form a group energy field, a merger of soul energy in a group. Therefore, the decisions that you make within your personal reality, such as the decisions to be giving or to be selfish, or the decision to be angry or to be understanding, contribute to the shaping of the reality that you share with your family. That's deep, because most of us, if we had a choice in choosing the families that we would be born into, a lot of people that's presently in our family now, we probably wouldn't even chose to be in our family. The same is true for each member of your family. Your father's dependability or drunkenness, for example, contributes to this level of your reality, as does your mother's timidness or assertiveness, and your sister's jealousy or support, etc. As you move into this layer of your reality, you move into an atmosphere that includes others within your life. You are not alone. While it is also personal, you are beginning to move outward from the intimacy of your personal reality. The next layer of your reality is your school, or your learning environment, or the place where you work. This level of reality is also co-creation, is more impersonal than the reality that you share with your family. Not all of the perceptions that are central to your personal reality are central to this reality. For example, you may have discovered that when you pray, you get answers. But this perception is not necessarily to the functioning of your university or your business. It may not be appropriate to share this perception with the person sitting beside you in the lecture hall, or with the receptionist in the front office, or with your brother or sister or mother or father. Some things you gotta know to keep to yourself, and you gotta know which things to keep to yourself and which things to share. The next layer of your reality includes those people that you come into contact with in the course of your living, such as the people from whom you buy your airline tickets, the people at the grocery store, the bus drivers and cashiers at the stores in your town. The beliefs that you hold as a participant in this and other more impersonal layers of your reality also are not all as intimate and personal as the beliefs that you hold in your personal reality. In these arenas, you share your personal beliefs that you feel as more aligned or more in sync with the larger general atmosphere of beliefs upon our planet. In other words, as you move outward from your personal reality, you move outward in bands of energy that are shared by more and more individuals with whom you have a great deal in common vibrationally. Most individuals, for example, understand city and urban area. Most individuals understand Europe and United States. These are shared collective perceptions, but they are not shared as widely as the perceptions of water and air, which are universal perceptions upon our planet. Not all the people on our planet know that there is a place called Europe. Europe is a majority perception upon our planet, but not a universal perception, such as air. Consciously receiving answers to prayers is not a majority perception upon our planet. Therefore, you are free to tell the people at the grocery store that you hear answers when you pray, but you may decide not to share that perception for your own sense of safety, because you realize that their consciousness may not be able to accept that. The next layer of your reality is your town or city. The next is your state or area of country. And the next is your culture or nation. A nation is an aspect of is an aspect of the personality of Gaia, the Earth soul, which itself is developing its personality and soulhood. The group dynamic that is the United States is a personality aspect of Gaia, Earth, as is the group dynamic that is Canada, and the group dynamic that is Greenland, and the group dynamic that is each nation. The individual human souls that participate in the evolution of these aspects of Earth form these group energy dynamics, and at the same time their own developments are served by the karmic energy properties of these nations. Consider the United States, for example, as simply one unit of energy that is evolving with a particular consciousness. The individual souls that pass through this collective consciousness, like you and I, expand it, create actions, create thought forms, create causes and effects, and that is how it accumulates karma. The relationship of these souls to their nation is like that of a cell to a body. Your consciousness affects every cell in your body, and every cell in your body affects your consciousness. There is a mutuality. Each individual in the collective consciousness that is called the United States can be thought of as a cell in that nation in dialogue. The Earth School and the Earth are not the same. The Earth is a planet. With or without humanity, it would be. The purpose of the planet is double, so to speak. It has its own evolution, and part of its evolution includes the housing of a species called human. The Earth has agreed to interact with the human species and to allow the development of this species to merge with its own consciousness. Part of this agreement can be understood as an agreement that matter will be co-created upon this Earth with the consciousness of the Earth. Since the Earth now has created residents, it responds to their energy. Our species and the Earth form a mutual response system. Communication. This happens in the same way that nature exists. It is also a co-creative adventure. As you continue to move outward through the layers of your reality, they become more and more impersonal. The next layer of your reality is your race. If you are black, your soul has chosen to participate in the evolution of what is to be a black human. If you are white or Caucasian, if you are Caucasian, your soul has chosen to participate in the evolution of what is to be a Caucasian human. Japanese, Chinese, Australian, so forth. Your experiences of exhilaration, anger, wisdom, or kindness help to shape this impersonal energy dynamic. The next layer is your sex. If you are female, you have chosen to participate in the evolution of femininity within the human species. If you are male, you have chosen to participate in the evolution of masculinity within the human species. If you look upon this structure as an inverted pyramid with your personal reality at the bottom, and each layer of your reality above your personal reality as more inclusive and more impersonal, the uppermost layer, the broadest and more impersonal layer, is humanity, the experience of human being. As an individual, you participate in group experiences simultaneously with being an individual, just as you can simultaneously being a man, a father, and a husband, or a woman, a wife, and a mother. These experiences are all simultaneous. Some of them are collective, and some of them are individual. You can have an individual experience as a father, for example, and an occupation as a baseball player with a team. There you participate in a group energy system. You contribute to the creation and the evolution of each of the collective consciousnesses in which you participate. If a person is French, he or she contributes in the evolution of the group consciousness that is called French, and so forth. If a person is Catholic, he or she contributes to the group consciousness that is called Catholic. Islam, Hebrew Israelite, so forth, so on, Christianity, Buddhism. In other words, the dynamic of creating reality operates at more than one level. While you are here, you participate in the creation of both personal reality and impersonal reality, physical reality and non-physical reality. Just as you can participate in the creation of a building that will remain long after you are gone, you participate in the evolution of group energy dynamics that will remain after you are gone. Energy doesn't die. Creating a building is a group effort. Several souls participate in the construction of that reality. I'm creating the building right now. In this build that I'm having with y'all through this dialogue called intention, we creating the building. So, many people won't see many people won't see the building, but those who have a mind to see, they will see the building that we were building and will be glad to step into it because it'll do something for you. You are connected in layers and through layers to your experience as you advance from the individual experience of your own life into the larger picture. You move into dynamics of group energy, the group dynamic, the collective consciousness, the universal soul. The soul of the human species is sometimes called the collective unconscious, but it is not that. It is the soul of the humankind. Your soul is a miniature of the soul of the human species. It is a micro of a macro. Microverse, macroverse. As part of the micro, you have all the power of the macro calibrated to an individual form of a certain frequency. You form collective entities that help the whole evolve. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I know I form collective entities that help the whole evolve. So I'm doing this to help the whole evolve. As you move down from the top layer of the inverted pyramid to the layer beneath it, your experience reduces from being a part of the whole human evolution to being a part of the evolution of male or female energy. In the next layer down, you become a part of the evolution Caucasian or Negro or Mongoloid or whatever. In the next layer down, you become part of the United States or Australia, wherever you're born at. In the next layer down, you're a part of the evolution of an individual whose experiences will include an aspect that participates in military or work, or whether you're a teacher or whether you're a cook. And layer by layer, we unfold in this and become our own individual and what we will look like. From the top layer, which is all humanity, all humans, each layer downward locates you more individually and more specifically. The most impersonal consciousness, the human species, is the first layer. The consciousness that takes on personal attributes is personal that you are part of the United States. It is personal that you're a white or black male or whatever, or a brown female. These are parts of your personal experience and characteristics that serve the evolution of the whole. A university, by analogy, is a group dynamic. Each of the schools of a university, undergraduate, business, medicine, law, is a group energy system, a less inclusive collective of group energy of souls and evolution. What happens within the schools affects the whole of the university. Then within the particular school, they have the experience of certain class, which is more personal, and after that, the experience of the student, him or herself, which is intimately personal. The reality of each individual is created by his or her intention and the intentions of others. What we think of as the physical reality that we share is intermingling or a formation, a massive overlay of appropriate realities. It is a fluid, massive consciousness in which each of us exists independently of each yet coexist independently with each other. What we, as a species and as individuals, are now becoming aware of is the effect of consciousness on this level. The last thing I want to say is, live with intention. It's scary. It means taking responsibility for yourself and your life. It means letting go of the rule book that society and your family gave you. When you let go of the rules, you're in charge, and you get to decide. And with that, I intend that everybody be well. Peace, blessings, wholeness, and health, love, and light. And may everybody be well. Let's go. 1.